Echoes in the form of shining valleys where the pure air rarefied and my senses newly opened. I awakened. Chorus. People have the power. Oz. Don't get tired on me. Yeah. People have power. People have power. People have power. One more. People have echoes. I was dreaming in my dreaming. God knows a purer view as I surrender to my sleeping. I commit my dream to you. Yes, here we go. What? Thank you. Again. People have the power, and you do it again. People have the power. Mezzanine, let me hear you. One more time. Oh, yes. People have the power. Last one. People have the power. People have the power. At the end, we're going to go, already. We're going to hold. Yes? All right, town hall. You got me sweating, all right? Mary Mitchell on keys. Woo! All right, so when we get to that part, you promise to sing out because you came here to rise up and sing out. We have to make sure that those words are heard. People have the power, all right? I'm not just here to sing a song with you, all right? You think you can do that when Patti Smith comes out? That's right. All right, well, I'll see you then. I'll be right here sweating and being like, yes, thank you. All right, we'll see you later, all right? Thank you, everybody.
welcome to the stage Rude Mechanical Orchestra and New York Singing Resistance.
In the spirit of struggle, we're going to unite our voices to fight back against the repression and violence. Are you ready to rise up? Let's go. Rise up. We're going to rise up. Rise up. We're going to rise up. Rise up. We're going to rise up. Oh, rise up. We're going to rise up.
Stand to your feet and make some noise! Say rise up! Rise up! Rise up! Rise up! Can I get an amen? Can I get an amen? Can I get an amen?
Amen.
Ashe. Let it be so.
Hollywood fights back.
The Red Scare of the 1940s and 50s ushered in an era of mass censorship in the United States, known today as McCarthyism, when Congress turned its sights on Hollywood and put a target on artists. In October 1947, a group of screenwriters, directors, and producers were called before the House Un-American Activities Committee and refused to answer the government's questions on First Amendment grounds. This group became known as the Hollywood 10. A month later, every major studio announced that they'd been blacklisted. But the Hollywood 10 found support in their community. Fellow artists who took up the cause of free speech and refused to be intimidated. Henry Fonda, Judy Garland, Katharine Hepburn, and dozens of others joined the cause, recognizing the power of solidarity against rising authoritarianism. They joined the Committee for the First Amendment and signed a letter that declared any attempt to curb freedom of expression and to set arbitrary standards of Americanism is in itself disloyal to both the spirit and the letter of our Constitution. Nearly 80 years later, facing a new regime in Washington, the Committee for the First Amendment is back, determined to protect the First Amendment rights for every American.
Please welcome to the stage a lifelong activist who brought us all together, the legendary Jane Fonda.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here at this benefit for the Committee for the First Amendment. Thank you. And here we are in New York. A huge congratulations to New York for your historic win with the Knicks. Yeah. The committee was relaunched last October to bring together the entertainment industry at this moment when our democracy is in peril. In the face of what's happening, we need our industry to be unified, activated, and unwilling to engage in anticipatory obedience. We stand together in defense of our right to free expression. They come for one of us. By God, they come for all of us. As you saw in the video just now, this isn't the first time that Americans' rights have come under attack. But this time, what is really different from the last century are the attacks are coming from every part of the government, the executive, the legislative, and the Supreme Court. There is a clear effort to destroy our fundamental democratic rights and dramatically retake our form of governance. I think the Un-American Activities Committee right now is coming from the White House. But you know what motivates this assault on us? This is important to know. It's because of all the victories that we've won. Victories in civil rights, in social justice. They're trying to roll them all back. The gains that we made, we're not going back. Those gains, they were hard fought, and they made our country better, and we are not going back. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. Those rights are for everyone. Everyone. And we must defend them for everyone. Even if we don't agree with them. You know, it's not about Democrat or Republican or left or right. It's about right or wrong. And it is wrong. It is wrong for people to be attacked and called terrorists for exercising their rights and freedoms. It's time for Americans all across the country, all across the political spectrum, who care about these freedoms to stand up creatively, non-violently, to defend these rights while we can. And we must do this now. Because if we don't, we're not going to have any rights to defend. Now, some of you, I see you have flags in your seats. And, you know, today is Flags Day, among other things. It's Flags Day. And we ran out of flags, so 500 of you have flags. Now, I know that not everybody feels that this flag represents them. And we want to take back our flag. We want to take it back, and we want to fight for a multiracial democracy in which everybody will feel represented. And so perhaps tonight, while you sing along, you can wave your flag, just to show our intention. Americans across the country and hopefully across the political spectrum are watching us tonight. Hundreds of thousands. People were registering for watch parties 20 minutes ago. And I wish that you could see the letters that we're getting. People are renting out whole theaters all over, every state in the country and Hawaii. Yeah. It's because we worked with librarians and churches and Indivisible and No Kings, ACLU, and so much more. So that from church halls to beer halls, people are watching. Hello out there. We feel you with us. Thank you for joining. Woo! And isn't it great? Isn't it great to know how many of us there are? Listen, we are the majority. So let's act like it. I know times are hard, but if we work together, if we stay unified and know in our hearts that we're going to win, we will win. Think of the Knicks. Like the Knicks. And here's something else. Right on this stage have been fights for freedom. This is truly a historic town hall. It was built over a century ago by suffragists to house... It was built to house their League for Political Education. And they stood on this very stage and rallied the masses about the right of women to vote and many other really important things. Those women changed the Constitution right here, and we're here to defend it. Town Hall has also been part of the history of Black Americans, from hosting Marian Anderson's debut performance in 1935 to Langston Hughes's advocacy for racial justice in 1944 to Coretta Scott King's concert for freedom that raised money for the SCLC. This stage that I am standing on has served as a platform for both artistry and civil rights activism. And tonight we're going to have music with our activism. Music is important. I've been to a lot of rallies over the decades. And you know, one thing that I've observed is that nothing brings people together more powerfully than music. You know, music speaks a truth that's beyond words. It's a primal unifying force, a common language of resistance and hope. You know, a great speech can inspire a following. A song can define a movement. To read the history of social movements is really to read a songbook, from spirituals during the Civil War and their reinterpretation during the Civil Rights era to folk music during the Vietnam War. Music has galvanized action, sometimes very cleverly skirting the censorship. When we listen to a protest song, we don't just hear the words, we feel the message, right? You know, I've never forgotten in the 60s hearing Joan Baez sing at a protest of hundreds of thousands of people. They were united and inspired by her music. And in the 60s and 70s, I watched the government bend to the will of those people, and we're going to watch it again. But right now, the government and its cronies is routinely violating its First Amendment to silence artists, shuttering institutions like the Kennedy Center, defunding museums and the National Endowment of the Arts, and banning books, canceling TV hosts who speak out. It's really bad. And it's being allowed by cowardly corporations. I'm not going to name names right now. But I am honored now to pass the mic to artists and activists who continue to speak up and sing out so that we might be inspired to rise up. And thank you again for showing up. You know, showing up. Showing up is an act of hope, and you all give me hope. And now to start the evening, please welcome a woman who represents hope and resilience, both in her own powerful individual presence and as a representative of the indigenous peoples of North America. Please welcome Lily Gladstone.
Hey, settle down. Okineksokoeks, nes tunnetaan ko pitääkin. Mahto tosiksi ketsettäpi, mahto tonimipu. Iksokapineksokoeks, nitsikataikitsi. Hello, my friends. My name is Lily Gladstone, Eagle Woman. I'm from the Blackfeet and Nez Perce Nations. Thank you, my friends. I feel the good in your being here together tonight. I am so honored to have been called upon by the inimitable Jane Fonda to open this gathering by thanking the Lenape, the first peoples of Lenapehoking. Where we sit and stand now, most specifically the Munsee Lenape of Mannahatta, this island of many hills that we now call Manhattan. Lenape land tenure and stewardship of this place predates any lease, any real estate, any idea of individual ownership. And Lenape steps have carved the first pathways of this land that now supports this infamously sleepless and bustling city. Today, you don't have to look too hard to feel and see their legacy all around you. I mean, as you're navigating the streets of New York City, Broadway, named for a trading path, a broad enough avenue for trade with Lenape for beaver pelts. Pearl Street, named for the shoreline of glistening shells where Lenape hand-selected their wampum. These quahog shells, with their contrasting balance of immaculate pearl white and deep undulating shades of purple, were widely gifted, traded, and still to this day are considered sacred. Wampum was also morphed into the Dutch West India Trading Company's favorite form of currency in New Amsterdam, which they subsumed into their own style of trade. Speaking of that, how could we forget Wall Street? Metaphorically, one of the world's hardest walls to breach, it was in fact named after the 2,000-foot-long wall built by black bodies enslaved by the Dutch West India Trading Company to evict and displace Lenape from these lands. Yeah, Wall Street was a literal wall, y'all. Today, the Lenape remain all across Turtle Island, all spread across several sovereign nations in the diaspora of removal, both in Canada and the United States, including but not limited to the Delaware Tribe of Indians in Bartlesville, Oklahoma, the Delaware Nation of Anadarko, Oklahoma, the Stockbridge Munsee community in Bowler, Wisconsin. Today, where we all stand in history, it is alarming, to say the least. For many Americans, this era of division, of stolen speech, broken promises, families torn apart, of risking all you have for the simple right to exist as you are, this may feel unprecedented. You may think, how did we get here? For the first peoples of this land, unfortunately, this has been ongoing since the birth of this country as we know it today. So perhaps the question then is not how did we get here, it's how are we still here? And maybe more importantly, how do we move forward? Now, I myself cannot speak for all Indigenous peoples of this land, not by a long shot. I can only speak for myself. But being a mixed Native child raised on my Blackfeet Reservation in northwestern Montana, I can speak to teachings that I've heard my whole life. For the Blackfeet and every other tribe from the Great Plains, one of our greatest teachers is and always has been at the epicenter of our way of life, our language, our way of knowing, our ceremonies, and that is the American bison, the buffalo. Inni, our word for buffalo, have long taught us what resistance in the face of adversity looks like, being the only animal able to calve in the middle of sub-zero temperatures where cattle would simply lay down. They would be buried under freezing snow of the high plains. They're pitiful. Buffalo, however, they turn head on, and as a herd, they face the blizzard. They face a storm together. For them, that's nothing metaphorical. They were built for that. To us, well, part of being a human being in our language is to accept that we also are gimitapsi. We're pitiful. We are not built like buffalo, so we can only borrow and learn from them. They feed us, they clothe us, they show us the way. Our survival is so intertwined with the buffalo that in order to conquer the Great Plains and its people, the United States Army launched a campaign to eradicate the American bison, inviting settlers to shoot on sight, often from passing trains, as many buffalo as they could. This campaign was so effective that buffalo declined from a population of roughly 30 million to less than 1,000. Some say 325. Oh, look, another wall. Today, buffalo have grown back to a much healthier but still comparatively thin number, roughly 500,000 head in this country, in large part due to the efforts of indigenous nations across the plains, my tribe included. It's not far from my family's allotment. I can say for the first time in 150 years, our Blackfeet lands, including Glacier National Park, they have been waiting for Inni to return this whole time. The soil is feeling the hooves again, tilling it. The land is feeling the invitation of other species, supported by this keystone species, to also return. With them, they're restoring the balance to this land that continues to give us all life, that has been so cattle-trodden for the last 150 years. We're seeing new species, we're seeing old wallows returning, and we're seeing the spirit of our children, seeing these buffalo on this land, knowing things are coming back into balance. Hard fight, but this was possible on my reservation in the hands of Blackfeet people because of what we were taught by the buffalo. They are still teaching us how to be. We came together in community for them and for ourselves so we could all breach the storm. We still have a long way to go, but in spite of ongoing campaigns and policies to erase both the Blackfeet and the buffalo, we are both, in fact, still here. This is one example from Indian country, and there are countless others like it. I wish I had time to go into it and describe even a few more of them. There are, after all, 575 federally recognized tribes in the United States, and a few hundred more that are continuing their fight for recognition. Each nation... Each nation has its own story of diversity, its own teachings of survival and cultural perpetuity, and I can tell you it is still in style. It is ongoing, and so are we. So like the buffalo, we were built for this because we were built to be together, united in community with relentless, unapologetic tenacity, working together to ensure the next generation has a future. Thank you all for choosing to come together. We know that fascism thrives in isolation. We will not face this storm in rugged individual glory. We are going to do it together. Thank you, my friends. I feel good having you here. Thank you.
Over the past century, musicians have used their voices not just to entertain, but to advocate for social change, often at great personal cost. From Marian Anderson blazing a trail for racial equality in the 1930s, to civil rights pioneer Paul Robeson standing up to McCarthyism in the 40s and 50s, to his mentee, Harry Belafonte, carrying on Robeson's legacy with decades of fighting for justice, to Nina Simone making her music the message with songs like Mississippi Goddamn, and Billie Holiday's arrest and imprisonment after singing the anti-lynching protest song, Strange Fruit. Artists have used their platform to lift up their fellow Americans and stand up for civil liberties. The Vietnam War brought in an era of folk music as pacifist resistance, with artists like Bob Dylan, Joan Baez, and Peter, Paul, and Mary leading thousands of protesters in song at marches and rallies in the nation's capital. And today, artists like Bruce Springsteen, Tom Morello, Kendrick Lamar, Lucy Dacus, and Bad Bunny continue to fight against tyranny from the microphone at rallies, in concert halls, inspiring the masses with anthems of courage and solidarity. Tonight, we are bringing songs from the past to give us hope for a more just and free future. Because in the immortal words of Sam Cooke, it's been a long time coming, but I know a change is gonna come.
Please welcome to the stage singer and activist, Broadway's Sasha Allen.
I was born